Alright everyone, so as promised, today we're going to look at some loops. So how the heck do loops work? So basically what loops are doing is everything that's inside them they repeat over and over again. You can probably already tell where this could be useful, so let me show an example of how to solve a problem. Let's say you were given a task by your teacher to add up a number a set amount of times. So the way you would do it is simply by creating a variable num for number. You would give it the value of 0, and let me just comment it as I go. So declare a variable of variable num with value of 0, and what you would do is you would do num plus equals 1. Essentially what this does is it increases the number, and you would do console dot write line and the current value of the variable, and do a console dot read key. And let's say you're going to supposed to do this 10 times. So what you would do to solve it quick and dirty is would copy this. That's 1, 2. Let's just make this a bit easier for ourselves. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's it 10 times. Let me compile this real quick. And let's launch it. As you can see, you have managed to do the task successfully, but you're going to get a D or a 3. Why? You're like, why? It's solved, so why would he give me a worse grade than the one I deserve? I do really deserve the 1 or the A or the B for this. Well, it's not as easy as you think, you know. So a way you can solve this much quicker and easier is we can copy these 2 lines of code because we're going to use them. Next we're going to remove all of this. So let's create a for loop. So the way a for loop works is it has a set of it has a fairly simple structure, but let me just explain it real quick. So int I equals 0, and let's do that int, and let's say that I has to be equal has to be less than 10 because we want it 10 times, and let's do I plus. So essentially what you did is, let me check, is the file that it's not okay, you can compile this again. And essentially what you did the exact same thing as before. So what has changed? So what for loops do is they go in, they start with a number of value of 0, and they increase the number variable by 1. So increase the num variable value by 1, and print out the current variable, print out the current value. So essentially we did the exact same thing as before, but we did it in much less lines of code, and it does the exact same thing as before. Here we use the atrocious 20 or so lines of code to do this. This just takes up what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just 7 lines of code here, and if you achieve the same thing. So what for loops do, they simply they start off with a value of 0. They do increase the value of this variable by 1, print it out, increase this by 1, checks if it's less than 10, and continues until it hits the value of 10. Once it hits the value of 10, it sees that it's basically the number 10, so it's not less than number 10, and it's going to exit, and it's going to wait for us to do things here. So what we could do is I could show you the number of tries to prove to you that it does work. I'm going to use something, so not right line, let's name this number of increases, and let's do plus, and we're going to e, the current value of the number of e. So what we are doing is we're printing out how many times it has done it. So printing out the number of increases. Print out the number of increases. Don't believe me that this works. Let's have a look. Let's try and remove this. And let's recompile this. And let's run this. So as you can see, what we are doing is we have started. So as you can see that at the beginning, it had the value of 0, but it has increased it by 1. So it does what it has to do. It increases it by 1, but the number of increases was at 0 as of now. Also, let me enter this out. Next, it printed out the current value of the number. So let me do one more thing. Let me do one small addition. Let me do a small change here. So num equals, there we go. And let's do current value of, whoops, can I type? Current value of num. So if we compile this and run this again, as you can see, this makes it much easier to read and to explain what for loops do. So what for loops do is, as you can see, we have started with the number value. It currently has the number 1 because we've increased it by 1, but the number of increases has been 0. So basically we started off with the 0 right here, and what you can see happening is, let me just tile this so you can have a better look, and basically it goes through all of this, and it increases this by 1, checks if it's lower than 10, and it keeps on doing it until this e hits number 10. If e is anything bigger than 9, because we're checking for lower than 10, it will exit the loop. If it is equal to number 9, we'll do it one more time, but then it will exit. See, number of increases was 9. So once e hit the number 9 variable, it left the loop. It just left the loop. To prove to you that it did leave the loop, proof of leaving for loop. And we're going to do a console dot right line left the for loop. So let me just quickly get rid of this file, and let's recompile this. Let's run this, and as you can see, once it did all of this, it left the loop and went in here. So this is the for loop pretty much explained, which is really cool and dandy, but we're going to show you another type of loop. So this was the for loop, which is all fine and dandy, but what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna show you a much simpler type of loop. So the next one we're going to do is the while loop, specifically do while. So what we're going to do is, let me just write this out real quick. And let's say that num is less than 10 again. And let's just copy these 2 lines of code. Whoops, not 2 lines, but 4 lines of code actually. And there we go. And if we're going to compile this and run this again, as you can see, it works in the same way as it did before. But now we do not have to deal with ease and another variable, so if you can, use the while loop, the do while loop if you can. It's much simpler to declare and it does the exact same thing. You just have one less variable to take care of, which is really cool if you're writing more complex types of code. So this has been Loops Explained. Hopefully it helped you. If you have any questions that you want to have answered, just let me know in the description below and I'll try and answer it as best as I can. So I know we did calculations, we did loops. What else is there to do? So I don't know, let's have a look. Is there anything else that we can do? So for now I'm going to remove the loops.exe thing because we do not need it here. Let's have a look. So I should have my sample code folder right here. And so yeah, I guess next time we'll be explaining arrays, so make sure to stick around to that because we'll be doing some magical things with arrays. And we will be utilizing while loops, or for loops rather. You will see what I mean once we get to those. So yeah, I hope this helped you and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.